Hey everybody, welcome back to Commodore 64 television. Today we're going to watch a show about, it was filmed quite some time ago, called The Deathbed Vigil and Other Tales of Digital Angst. It's like a home video version shot in the, I assume, 92, 93, you know, when Commodore went tits up, really. Shot by Dave Haney. Everybody knows who Dave Haney is. I've had this for a while, but I haven't been around to watch it. I've really been looking forward to it. So, I gotta check something on here. Let's see if my chat's up. Yeah, it's up. Good. Good stuff. All right, let's get going. I really want to watch this. So, if you guys recognize anybody, let me know. All right. In remembrance of J. Minor, such giants are these, great shoulders bear so many, I stand among them. Keep the faith. The Deathbed Vigil and Other Tales of Digital Angst. I tried to get, the last 3 months, I've been trying to contact Dave Haney. I've Twitter, Facebook, everything, and he doesn't get my messages or anything. So I was really hoping to be able to talk to him about this for a while, but we'll see how it goes. Being a documentary film on the last days of Commodore. It's in 1994, okay. This is on YouTube, if you guys ever want to watch it again. I want to take you through a wasteland like they call my own Green Day. April 27th, 1994. I like the music, kind of a funky vibe. Breaks your heart to see that. Oh, they got a big Commodore sign. This is so cool. You mostly got the flag at half mast. I wonder what that's about. The Commodore plant in Westchester, Pennsylvania once supported over 1,000 employees in engineering, tech support, facilities, sales, marketing, international, and manufacturing. The plant could run 24 hours a day on shifts, producing primarily for the U.S. and Canadian markets. Engineering, I can get that aspect.
Well, I don't think they'll yell at me for stealing secrets anymore. Oh, actually, let's walk down this way.
The year 1901 held great promise. The A500 was established itself as a successor to the C64 in the European home market. The A3000 was doing well in the high-end market, especially in niches like video. The developer community was achieving some real success financially and in terms of innovation.
These were all partitioned off in offices for various things. At one point, the magazine was down here. They've had other things that have documentation down here. Used to be a chip lab over here. They moved it. More dark corridors. Guess I should have got the deluxe camera. Well, see what comes out, comes out.
By February 91, prototypes of the new AA Amiga chipset were running in the innovative A3000. The A3000 incorporated a 25 megaflops AT&T DSP 3210 coprocessor, the multitasking real-time operating system. The A3000 was demoed and described in detail at the Denver and Milano
Equipment over there, boards and circuit boards and such. And here we're in the factory/warehouse.
I wonder if they're going to mention Mehdi Ali. He's the guy that really ended up killing Commodore.
Production lines and immediate storage. I actually had 3 production lines going. There's a chip lab in there.
Yeah, I've had this for a while, Superfly, and I've been dying to watch it. And I figured I might as well watch it with other people who appreciate it.
Up there, up the stairs is new.
So you're probably gonna be a lot of heartbreak in this. A lot of
locked. It's a big place.
Three Amigas, nice. I've only got one, but I got a 1200, but I don't know if it's hasn't been out of a box in about 15 years, 16 years. Two 1200s. Wow.
It's probably close to being too dark for this, but I just got the Herman Miller footage to lay out here now.
Geez, this place is huge.
Here.
New engineering management took over in summer '91. By October, all AA projects had been cancelled. Only the prototypes of A3000 systems were built for OS development. The A300, a super cheap Amiga, was remade into the A600, an A500 replacement, more costly than the A500. It offered users less. The A500 was the first still popular machine. Warehouse.
Yeah. So it's back to the warehouse area, which is big, and empty. I think the bigger one shut off, but people were roller skating in it. It is most impressive, but you take what you can. I just thought about doing this morning. It wasn't like I made big plans for rooms to be opened or anything. Yeah, big warehouse back there. Some more small warehouses. And good roller skating too, I suppose.
By April '92, there's still no AA machine. A mid-range ECS-based system is mandated by management, built and rejected by all Commodore sales divisions. Jesus. Oh, jeez. I'd like to spend 10 minutes alone in that room. Look at that.
Closing up shop for the last time. I have mine too. You're going to be at the what's his name, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah.
Mine's older than you, bigger than you today.
Yours is bigger than mine?
My cat, yeah.
Yeah.
Video machine.
Ooh, competition.
Yes. Carolyn, all you do is pop the label there and pull that off.
Carolyn.
Paste it down.
Bye.
The low-end agent was given more resources and is better designed, but almost too late for the vital Christmas season. It does just make it, but not enough parts have been ordered to build an adequate number. Christmas 92 is a disaster. No one wants an ECS machine. Few can get one of the new AA systems. Amiga meets the Osborne syndrome.
They started cleaning out a while ago. All the partitions and furniture pretty much gone. The records are in those files.
Jeez. Commodore loses $350 million in 93, a direct result of the bad Christmas. Things look bad at Commodore throughout the latter part of 93. Massive staff cuts take place in the summer. Funds for new product development are all but dry up by autumn. The long-awaited AAA project was halted for lack of money. It seems to be another case of defeat snatched from the jaws.
Hey, look, people.
I thought that was a gun.
I thought it was a gun.
Wait, you didn't see it. You guys walk around with guns.
That's an aim point scope on there, man.
What's that red dot on your forehead?
Hey, he's the bodyguard.
He's the bodyguard.
Kill him first.
Get out, get out. This is my lab equipment.
I'm not taking any
this is
lab
gonna be good.
equipment. All I'm stealing are images today. I'm pulling the truck up tomorrow.
Get the Headley floppy.
Oh yeah, that is an important feature.
Is that flop embedded in the wall? Nice.
You might want
Nice.
to take a last look at the Headley floppy in the wall.
I think I want you to fall past it. It's hard to
Yeah. Every once in a while, you have those days. Well, let's see. This, if it doesn't need to be mentioned, is engineering. We have a logic analyzer, some CD32 stuff. Oh, look at that, virtual reality. More CD32. Parts room back there.
Jeez.
$1,200s. More CD32. Hey, CD32 has been the big thing. Microscopes. You ever work on these tiny, tiny little boards with all kinds of surface mount on them? You want a microscope. Don't let that magnifying glass fool you. Yes, we actually use Amigas in our work. Okay. Well, might as well do the whole thing. The machine shop. This connects over to the mechanical design group. Nice milling machine. Would look great in my garage.
Got everything? This is locked, so.
Yeah, I wasn't too worried about the parts room. Everything that counts. Lab monkeys live back here.
This is it.
T's.
I'd really wish that there's a video of like them doing a walkthrough like
Hey, look
82,
over here.
83, 84. You know, that would be
My
awesome.
workbench. We put lab equipment here I know I use, but we did use that one a little bit. This, my friends, is a AAA board.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I actually read on the net that these don't exist. There they are.
I wonder what they did with that.
Andrea, it's on the tower. Mary. And Monica. Network on here and a bunch of other stuff. It's just a prototype board. Memory, slots, VRAM modules. There's our development system. That's an EQM, the other development system, Lab Monkey. Lots of junk from previous eras. Another AAA system. Wonder what was wrong with that one.
CD32 console is designed in '93, and a winning design it is, both as a game box as a low-cost Amiga engine. Over 100 developers interested. Bought by Christmas build time, Commodore has no money and owes so much to so many, it is difficult to get any parts. They make about 100,000 CD32s for Christmas and
Software 6-pack, this was called. There's at least one left. Randall.
Dave, taking the video, eh?
Wow.
Ain't a mess?
This is the cleanest I've ever seen it. What are you
No,
talking
no,
about?
no. There's least amount of junk. It's definitely not the cleanest.
Oh, okay.
I usually kept things all, though cluttered, organized enough that I could find everything I needed, within a minute or two.
It's called caching.
However, in the process of finding the stuff I actually want to keep, everything else is just being thrown on the floor. The floor is the to be thrown out pile.
Hey, fish.
Everything that was
I've been to there, Mom.
Your Fred Fish CDs. No way.
Well, what are we going to do?
Jesus.
Give away
That's
secrets?
pretty cool, dude.
What? Get the wall. Oh, the wall.
Yeah.
all the stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. I thought about that day. Bring the mine in. I really did.
Yeah, well, this is like hard to film here, but
Good idea.
it's kind of a history of software in pictograms.
She comes home, I feed her dinner, and she's up and gone like that. I get up. Give me mine, I'll give you mine. Take it.
I had your number again.
Yeah, in fact, it's sitting over
I wonder how much of this stuff is still sitting in
All these guys were at the bachelor party last night.
these people in a box in somebody's garage. Coconut.
There's nothing here but
Oh,
guys.
it's coconut.
Administrator, excuse me. Frank lives there.
How you doing, girl? Thanks for the sub.
Alan's
So great to see you.
When we had a secretary.
Yeah, Superfly. I'm pretty sure they. I think they knew what they had with that Amiga
Chip
technology.
designers.
Yeah, hi. I'd love to work there
Still
too,
some chip
Coconut.
designers sitting here. Probably talking to their headhunters or something.
I'd bring a cot and
He's
a
working.
cooler and
The last
little
guy in the
mini
building
fridge.
is working.
This is for my next job.
Thanks for the host, Coconut.
Gotta get that.
I love how you make an entrance. It's always just Coconut's here. It's just always so awesome. Thanks, girl.
Well,
Rule of
nobody's
thirds,
on.
hey buddy.
Let's move on.
Nice to see you. Bang, the Coco has reemerged from her cell. Yeah, me too. This is my first stream in a while. Hey, thanks for the 50 bits, nerds. Or Rule of Thirds. Thanks, man. It's awesome.
Ooh, the lights are off and no one's home. Let's use the computer room. There be faxes.
Yeah, gotta support those C64 streamers. It's here. Just the morale around the company is at an all-time low. No kidding. Quite a few of the people who survived the summer layoff leave of their own volition in the fall and winter. Projects are minimum. Oh, the Amiga OS 3.1. Other hardware and chip projects have been relegated to design but don't build. Well, what's the point?
This is
Darwin Conan. Hey, man, how you doing?
Polywork
Long time no see.
Mentor software. Sort of the old way of doing things. The budgetary.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't been streaming much
This is a
lately. I've been doing a lot of vacationing and.
Mike sat there.
And my kid, my kid's got me back into World of Warcraft, and so I gotta. Every time he's online, he wants me to. So.
This is George's mentor cubicle.
Oh, here we go.
It's not really supposed to be here. Sometimes look at everyone
Oh, you were close. So I'm not going to tell you what you almost would have won, but
looks something like this.
Rule of Thirds. It's just called The Deathbed Vigil and Other Tales of Digital Angst. It was filmed by Mr. Dave Haney, and it's basically the last day at Commodore. And so far it's pretty damn amazing. I've had this for a while, and I've seen it on YouTube.
Is my Isobus
and
book.
I avoid watching it because I want to watch it fresh, and so far it's pretty entertaining. I'm like, this is really, really awesome seeing this, you know, like inside Commodores at the last days. And
table.
Hey, leaving Dave.
Hey, there's George.
Documenting the world.
Yeah, I filmed your office.
Somehow that's what I kind of expected a Commodore engineer to look like. I don't know why, but...
Still running, Dave?
Still running. Is that good or bad?
Sorry, you can't do it.
Yeah, I am too.
By April '94, there is little work being done at Commodore. Most employees are taking job interviews. Most projects are at best in limbo. There are constant rumors about some talks of buyout, some company failure. Management advises everyone to take new jobs if they come on. Don't expect any miracles. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure about this time Media Ali has really got his claws into it. Superfly, I love that TV show. Yeah, it was...
I am.
That's the reason I watched it too. Sometimes they can be kind of slow. That Halt and Catch Fire, but that '80s retro vibe to it is what kept me around.
Yeah, just so that everyone who.
I think you're taking an inventory of all the equipment. And you'll come in at night like ninjas, following the tape. Like you come down this way and turn left, steal this laser printer.
I described exactly that action yesterday, but Greg vetoed it. Hey, that wall used to be part of my office.
You gonna add sound?
This has got sound on it. It's in full.
What's that?
I made beer for my last baby's birth. This was the least I could do. Oh well. That seems to be about it for now. Check in a bit.
Yeah, that's Dave Haney right there.
Shut off. It shuts off. Shut off, will you?
Like I said, I've tried to contact him a number of times, but he just doesn't return messages. I really would like to talk to him about this.
I do my own gopher mode.
That should definitely be recorded for posterity.
Yeah, you know, I waited for all these years. I finally broke down and I'm doing it.
Uh-huh.
Finally decided I've been here long enough. I deserve something. I'm gonna take a couple ram shifts.
In the Commodore tradition, they get their interviews in the cafeteria and head out burning after layoff lunch. This lunch lasted past 10 p.m. Well, I'm sure they all got pissed up too. Drink enough of anything to make this world look new again. Yeah.
baby.
No.
Oh, he still has a ways.
The last day of Pompeii.
The last day of Pompeii, that's right.
out? I'm in for 2 weeks.
That's what I heard. BT is Gala, huh?
Try that gig for a while.
Dr. Veed.
Ooh, it's starting.
Yes, it is. The only place I ever take my sunglasses off.
Are you allowed to film in a bar?
I guess we'll find out.
Clearance rights.
He's been videotaping coming in.
Hi, how are you?
Wow. All kinds of people who used to work here.
Oh, don't ruin his really cool.
Everybody on their last day at work.
This is high technology we're talking about. The best that Japan can offer.
I knew that I wasn't coming back. Hey, geez.
Any comments for the archives?
We're fucked. It's our official comment.
From Lou Egenbrecht, what's his name?
Yeah, right.
I wonder if they invited Mady Ali.
Yeah, my wide angle.
Hey, Mark Barrett, you were right. But you're still an asshole. Yes, I know.
They might actually publish this.
Call Mark Barrett saying you were right. You're still an asshole. No, my partner is up in I know someone like Barrett. Hi, Dave.
So now that you have a kid, I guess the camcorder came with the kid or came with the second kid? First kid. So okay, now that we have a camcorder, we can use it for other things.
I never use it much, but
Right. So it's like high 8 or hi-fi stereo.
it's like stereo.
Regular 8 hi-fi stereo.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's a few years old. If it came with the second kid, it would have been high 8.
I haven't decided yet. Let's go.
Dr. Mo, are you supposed to be at the gym or something?
Pretty well. How are you? That about sums it up, right?
Frank's was better than yours.
Well, what did Frank do?
I waved the low.
That too.
Surprised he's here. Very hostile. Very choked. Man choked.
Margaritas has been a Commodore hangout since Commodore moved to Westchester in '83. Back then it was a tiny place, kind of a dive. That, of course, being much of the allure after just over 11 years of Commodore lunches, parties, retirements, going aways, and layoffs. At least they're doing well. Some claim
Makes you wonder, but
Well, many Commodorians now are enjoying the bliss of pure being. Yes, I am. Yeah, it means I'm a bum. No employment, no job, no money.
Dr. Mo, there you go.
That's a procedure. He's still getting unemployment. I like that idea, yes.
His summertime plans.
My plans are laid by the pool.
Hey, I gotta-
build my decks. Sounds good to me. Hey, we're ready to order.
We know what Jeff's going to do.
He's living still, good.
Yep.
I'd like this message goes out to Commodorians everywhere. Wherever you are, we love you.
Okay, we're back in business here.
Take two. Sorry, I'm a little verklempt, right? Talk amongst yourselves.
Jeff Porter, heard of him. Guy on the left, I've never heard of before. Jeff Porter. I don't know where that's from.
I think it's a sad state
The liquor been treating you good, huh?
sad state of affairs. So much
much talent, so much energy
I
wasted.
said Boyd Coddington.
Victory. Defeat snatched from the jaws of victory. That's the word.
Where are you headed?
I don't know yet. Maybe Texas.
I also wanted to check with you. I've been talking to a headhunter in Arizona. Looking for multimedia people, do set-top box type stuff, interface video chipsets. Do you mind if I pass your name along?
Feel free.
Okay.
In fact, I think I got.
Most of the people seen so far were fired, either today or formally by the direct order of Mehdi Ali. There he is. There's the name. Mehdi Ali, president of Commodore International Company. After today, about 30 employees remain. Not surprising. If you have anything nice to say about him, keep in mind these are just personal opinions. Well, you know, nobody
Now, what do you think
has anything nice to say about Mehdi Ali.
You're reading my mind. I said, now, what do you think of all of this?
They ought to cane the little brown fucker.
Jesus. Easy, girl. Easy.
Mehdi, next time, just take cat track and don't fight it.
Anybody here have anything to say to Mehdi Ali?
Why are you
We're making a tape. Let me put it that way.
$1 billion.
Yeah, no kidding. I go connect.
100 million in 2 years.
That could be a record.
Make sure you turn the lights off, Eddie.
Oh, you cut it down to
I see that. Remember this? See this guy smoking in the bar too.
That really helped.
Been a while since you could smoke in a bar in Canada, anyway.
On high rises, high powered rifles.
I don't know if that's like that in the States. But
I think I could have handled $100 grand a year on a salary. I think $2 million's a bit much. Oh, and Betty, buy Commodore stock.
Anybody can fuck up for that amount of money.
You guys, I'm making a collection. Any words to Mehdi Ali?
His brain wouldn't comprehend anything intelligent.
Fred?
What?
Anything to say to Mehdi Ali?
Not right now.
This is great, Dave. Let me think. How often do I have to tell Mehdi off? You know, it's like, Mehdi,
nice.
are you a general asshole, or is there anything specific? Well, I think you're just a general asshole.
Andy?
No, unfortunately, Mehdi, I don't work for you. Sir.
Any other parting comments? Do y'all have anything to say to Mehdi?
No, I don't.
Smoking and having a beer. Those were the days.
Taxes are high, but it looks like
Maybe I wish I could drive the company into the ground and live off the fucking interest of the money I made doing it.
Here you go, dude.
You guys, anything to say to Mehdi Ali?
Thank you for the new job.
Send me a card from Leavenworth.
You should ask the guy the same question after about 4 or 5 more beers.
Freedom of the press? That's why it's largely unedited and really bad. And
So Dave, if I bring the tractor trailer up to the shipping dock on Friday, can you get me some stuff?
you get the tractor trailer, we'll get the stuff. I'm sure we could come up with some kind of an arrangement.
Okay, we're recording.
Is that recording? Yeah, it is. There's the red light. And why are I'm actually in shock for this. 52.
Dave. Training for my new job.
Yeah. All right, this is going to get rough now. Now they're doing shots. Tell us what you really feel. As mentioned, engineers used to come and go at all hours of the night and day. Many kept sleeping bags under their desks. A few were known to stay for days straight. No shit. The Mega was always a passion more than a job. Something you're lucky to find even with select banks presidents sleeping now.
Yeah.
But they do. That's absolutely
Yes,
right.
there it is. Tim.
Tim, that's 10 in the evening too.
Yeah.
Point outside is dark.
Anything to say to Mehdi Ali?
In my entire life, I have never wished ill upon a person and meant it before. My entire life. Lots of people I've disliked, some people I've extremely disliked. If Mehdi Ali was standing in front of a bus coming in, bound down the air, I would just look the other way. Wouldn't make any attempt to yell jump. Certainly not going to push him out of the way.
Yeah.
Not even going to let him know.
And we all know how nice you are.
Early on the evening of April 29th, several of the Commodore branches filed for a liquidation bankruptcy in the Bahamas. At the same moment, back in Pennsylvania, Mike Zintz married Teresa Zerbach. She knew about the bankruptcy until the next day when they arrived. Now, the shady business dealings. Randall Jessup's house. Oh, Randall Jessup. Why do I know that name? I haven't recognized a lot of names here, at least only about the third person, but Randall Jessup.
Saw you had this tape where you were playing. The last moment before bankruptcy story, when all the CIL people were running up and down the hall.
Oh, we're still drinking.
Furiously, and
This
I
is
came in
only going to get better.
to Huck Tan's office in a blank check and said, you better get to the bank quick because it's only open for half an hour. And apparently they've gotten all of next week's payroll in cash at the plant. So we'll get paid next week, this week.
Commodore was one of the first computer manufacturers to use large-scale integration as a standard part of new system designs. This allowed them to continuously undercut the competition. Yeah. Commodore was also one of the first to apply many advanced CAD techniques when necessary in chip design to the design of board and system-level products.
Sorry. This is kind of spray paint here. This has a history behind it. There used to be someone named Joe Mecca.
Joe Mecca, yes. The what's his title?
Facilities manager, something like that. But
highfalutin stuff. Anyway, we decided to.
Well, he put these speed bumps into the parking lot, and there were these really big speed bumps, and we all hated them, and they wouldn't take them out.
We're talking huge speed bumps. I had nightmares about these speed bumps. I had anxiety dreams about these speed bumps.
And Joe also had the only reserved parking space in the entire company, and being a modest guy, it was spot number one. So one night around 2 a.m., Keith and I and another guy.
Well, Amiga Unix, wow.
Got married yesterday. Kind of went out there. Well, I had a little fun with blue can of spray paint.
Masked off his parking spot.
Did a very neat job.
Very, very good job. Spray painted the lines blue and put up a handicap parking sign. Excellent job. Professional stuff. Could not tell the difference. E-tools in the morning.
Gee, what the fuck? Oh man, he was so pissed. He called around to all the departments to try to figure out who did it. And, oh man, and you have never seen the building facilities people fix something faster than this man. Got that line painted yellow.
By the time I got in the morning, it had already been painted orange.
Right on.
So we're going to use the spray can again tonight.
The Amiga released in '85, Commodore introduced. Who's in motorcycles? Okay.
Everybody could have one or two.
Very cool.
Sean.
Vroom.
Can you say Born to be Wild?
I think here they are in Pennsylvania. I think that's where they ended up.
Can you say
Westchester,
love me, love my
or
hog?
I'm not sure Scott will appreciate pretzels.
Ooh, okay. I want to get this shirt.
T-shirts are being designed as we speak.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I want that shit
Order
too.
to Bryce, 800 number to Bryce to get them.
Amiga
You're
Wig.
kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Everybody's going to sign.
He put it out on the internet too.
Oh, okay, so he's not limiting to Commodore.
If you put that on eBay or Craigslist, you'd make a killing.
Just like
If you
my
still have it.
Is that what you're going to do? You're going to dupe it and sell it?
I'm gonna.
Run out of strings.
Yep.
There's a technique to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know those.
I've also a heck of
All
a
those harp
beers,
players
Dave.
always get the chicks.
But you know, you get the general idea.
Cat was the first to develop a support program at Commodore. Under the direction of Gay Wellington, it became a world-class support organ. In typical Commodore style, Cats worked hand-in-hand with engineering to not only respond to developers' questions, but to move the Amiga operating system in the directions most advantageous to the Amiga developer.
Turn around.
Look at your tires sitting on the ground. How are you? It really looks like your room is sitting on the ground.
I know. I was looking at it earlier. Like the grandma's geez, looks kind of
I work for a tough bus when I come in.
You had the perfect timing.
I know.
We got Bryce here. You seen Bryce yet? Bryce is off of the hardware.
That's from Kurz and Price.
When'd you get it?
Last night.
Okay. I do a little bit here and there every day. Really? Bugs? I know you
Yeah.
How do you love it? How do you love it?
So my question is,
Hi.
Oh, I'm gonna make a tape.
How are you?
Big bucks.
we can all go on
$185.
check off.
Big unpack of authenticity.
How are you?
Talking some major dollars.
And I've got a really good original Dale Wet Boing mouse.
I got that freaking
That's what we have planned.
I bet most of these people went to Apple
Des Moines, Iowa.
or Microsoft.
But you know, it's only the place where I keep.
No, this isn't Canada. This is just. It's
And
there.
so it goes.
Adjust to it.
A giant falls ever so slowly.
Look at that Scala emblem there.
Yeah. Scala, the future of Commodore employees.
The refugees.
We contain 80% recycled Commodore engineering pieces.
Oh, yeah.
See what?
How did you figure it flashing? No?
Oh, wait.
Maybe this is just urban legend. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it is.
They finally got me.
It probably depends on whether it's an infrared.
You must have done it in the dark.
That's possible. That's possible. I may have done it in like a dark room. Not
Maybe there's an infrared filter.
Hey, it's stuck on record now. What's that mean?
Oh, does that have a remote input? Yeah, it's a gear.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't really understand computers.
We're testing the theory.
I like electronic wheels, not electronic gears.
Here, look at my phaser. It's not working though.
Chris is an idiot.
Chris is a little
You know,
drunk.
now you're saying this isn't IR then?
I say it's probably an RF.
Hey, man.
Yay!
This is in
More
stereo. Let's go for it.
Anarchy in the UK.
Sex Pistols.
Coming sometime.
Nice call, dude. Nice call.
They make real pretty music.
Sex Pistols on the
Anarchy
harp.
UK for harp. Dig your angel for
Hey, Coconut, doesn't that sound like the Friendly Giants? Remember that show we had as kids, the Friendly Giants?
let's see, what's another good one? No future for you. That's my your good talk.
Yeah, Rusty True on this, right?
Medley for
Look up, way up.
Thanks, folks. Anyway, what, are you still filming? Come on.
I'm still filming. I want you to play something for real.
Okay. Yeah.
For everybody who wants to know what the Friendly Giant is, it's a TV show in Canada that was on CBC and I think TV Ontario back in the 70s. Yeah, I'm that old. Were you? No kidding.
The problem is carpet. The strings blend in with the carpet.
Yeah, me and a friend, we were talking about that the other day too. I don't Danger Bay. I don't remember Danger
One of the
Bay.
ex-counter people there. This is.
I remember like
case.
Coconut Door.
Book pile beside my book bed.
Would have Simon in the Land of Chalk Drawing or whatever, but I think that was on TV Ontario.
The Commodore Crew. 1309.
Mr. Dress Up with Casey and Finnegan. Yeah.
Getting off the signatures on that.
Show off.
That's not gonna work.
It says it's from Greg Miller, Spencer Shanton, Martin Hunt, Martin Telfer, Kathy Godfrey, Dale Luck, Leo Schwab, and John Wiederhorn at 3DO.
Much of the anger and angst you're about to see is born out of years of frustration. The engineering groups believed they were doing amazing jobs given the route they were, yet the marketing groups did little to promote Amigas. They often did things that seemed useless and didn't use common sense. When they came up with good ideas, upper management somehow managed to screw them. That's what upper management does the best.
Hammer, take the hammer. Out there.
Which one?
No, you gotta hold the hammer.
I don't see a damn thing.
What are they doing here?
Somebody turn the car around.
Stand right here, okay?
Are they smashing Amigas?
Who's driving this car right here?
Commodore Yo-Yo.
Tie them to the back of Gabriel's case. Actually,
Oh, this is painful. This is painful.
This would be great.
Okay. Does it have like a low light thing? You can
Yeah, not low enough though.
Burr, I have
I won't even take my 1200 out of his box. I haven't touched it in 15 or 16 years. That's how I'm afraid something's going to happen to it.
I'm getting all this.
I'm trying.
Randall.
Hey, everybody back up.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. When they sober up, they're going to regret that. I bet they're watching this 20-something years later going, what the hell were we thinking?
Hey, careful.
Wow.
Has anyone called the press for this?
Oh, Coconut, I can't wait to see that.
So this is depressing enough.
Oh, that's awesome, Coconut. I'm really looking forward to watching that. Yeah, we used the VIC-20, the 64, the PET, the Unisys Icon. But it was this Commodore 64 and that really...
You need like some sort of music, like Johnny Cash is.
When do you think, how long till your first stream do you think, Coconut? Pretty soon? Let me know so I can go stock up on bits.
Oh, it's nicely warped.
Here you go, Chris. Hold this one.
Oh, from the UK, okay.
Don't break your hand.
Gee, okay, guys, enough.
You got a chainsaw?
You don't want those given to me.
You got a chainsaw?
Keyboard 2, head 0. Yeah. Oh.
Wait a second, I think we can Lucky 7. Run over them with the car here.
Yeah, these guys gotta be. These guys gotta be pissed to the bejesus, bro.
Hey, Greg.
Okay, watch it. Hey.
Are they gonna drive over it? Tell me they're not gonna drive over it.
Wouldn't it be funny if the car got too flat?
Oh my god.
Wheel drive. What you should do is just turn on the front, lock the rear wheels, and
This is breaking my heart.
Flying keys, man. Pull forward.
Oh,
Line him up, line him up.
Oh my God.
Oh, Peter hasn't done one. Come on, Peter. Where's the hammer?
Here's the hammer.
Getting all this friend.
I'm trying. It's damn dark. In the way. I can't see anything there.
Oh, this is insane.
Don't hit me, man. Oh, you want someone? I know. Hey, do the guitar.
Wait, we got one here.
This one looks like a tire fire, huh? Yeah.
Come on. Fred's got the
What could go wrong?
That's what's frightening.
You're standing in the way. Fred, move.
Which Fred?
Fred, get it. Where's the hammer?
Let's see. A little lower.
I swear to God, that guy lost control and he got hit by. Oh man, that's insane.
I don't believe I'm here.
Come over and get a close-up of the camera hitting the
A close-up? As long as you... Which key are you after now?
Hey, Coconut, thank you for doing that. That's very nice of you.
Okay.
Rule of thirds. Right on, Coconut. Thank you. Commodore had worked out a deal with a major Japanese company for resale of the Amiga in Japan. This was a major market, yeah, and when not yet downloaded by the ambient PC clone, only Apple was making headway. As Max did Can't You Well, something the Amiga could do with the roots.
This gasoline.
No, wait. You have to hang him up by the swing set or something.
No.
Oh, wait a minute. Why don't you just...
He's not going to burn well hanging up.
Was that effigy of Mehdi Ali? I think.
Work with me here, people.
Yeah, must be. These people are pissed.
Oh, good.
Wait, $5 for anybody who wants to give Mehdi a hot foot.
Jesus.
Wait, light his crotch! Light his crotch! Burn, you little brown scumbag!
Holy Jesus. These people are pissed off.
Wait, I need vodka to do this.
Quiet! This is probably the only warmth we ever got out of the man.
Hey, Mac Apple, how you doing? Yeah, they're oh, he's pissing on
And
it.
the day after, it'll be better. It'll be great. And it'll be great because we'll all still be friends, and that's what really counts. And I'm really glad, and I want to thank Randall for organizing or starting this. And
Nice weather's trash your house, Randy.
yeah.
And your lawn. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mehdi Ali.
Okay, inside in the living room, there's a poster, and you can sign it, and it'll be on the T-shirt if you sign it. All the signatures on the back.
Sure, please make sure your signature because it's all going to be done with these.
What?
Wonder who has that poster to this
Say a
day.
little more, Randall? Wait, there's some of Mehdi left. Like, well, he never did have a heart, so maybe that's a liver.
It's pure evil.
No, it's pure stupidity. Now, we used to drink ouzo and spit it out in the campfire and see if it burned. What's that, Betty? You wanted to say something to the crowd? You asshole! Yeah, he said, fuck you, you asshole.
Get the hell out of here. You're fired.
I saved Jeff Frank. He's stuck in his butt cheeks.
Hey, Jeff.
Wait. You wanted to say something about Alan? What? Near my God. Sorry, he's dead. Betty is dead.
I melted.
Who loves you, baby? Nobody. Oh, great! Let's burn the guitar in effigy!
Play Wipeout. Okay. Well, it's been a crazy trip.
I only burned a small hole in
It reminds me of surfing in summer games. Summer games when you're surfing. It's a song that plays.
I got a computer I can
Unemployment Band pictures of Mike Rivers. Chicken Lips Blues.
I got the chicken lip blues. I got a computer I can no longer use, except for those of you who already know how to do something with it. Well, the last days of Commodore were their creditors roaming the wall. And in the last days of Commodore, they got creditors roaming the wall. And they got accountants all over Commodore, and the taxmen and the creditors roaming the hall. I'm ad-libbing here, folks. Thank you. Hey, help me, Jesus! There's a rock lobster got me attached to the walls. No, attached to my balls. Well, where the heck am I gonna go? I guess I'll go call 3DO. Where the heck am I gonna go? I guess I'll go call 3DO. But you know, I just don't know how they're gonna pay their CEO.
3DO, weren't they software developers?
And just about three, that strange kind of genius, that Matty Ali. I said, they got the chicken lip blues.
Yeah.
Got that computer that's got no use, except for those of you who know how to use it. Well, what do I do?
Oh, it might have been Coconut, I'm not sure. I just seem to remember a software company, 3DO or something like that. Might be thinking of something else.
Now that my 8520s are blown. Well, oh God, I gotta buy a PC. Chicken Lips Blues, folks. No, I gotta buy a PC.
Film. Go ahead, Augie.
Okay.
Don't let us disturb you or anything.
This is actually more Jeff's fault than anyone's.
Let's not put you on the spot or anything. I mean, the film is rolling. Time is money.
I came into Commodore and I had interviewed with everyone but Jeff Boyer. And I came in that day and I was told, and Jeff Boyer was told that I was working for Jeff Boyer. He was the one and only person who hadn't talked to me. So that's kind of...
Much to his chagrin. Gee, did anyone call Jeff Boyer about this? No, shit. We didn't call Boyer.
That's right.
Oh my God.
No problem.
I didn't. There must have been some subconscious block. I even talked to Boyer on...
Okay. Bankrupt in 03, okay.
Yeah.
Price better lead.
Yes. But you gotta help. Well, we don't have any other lemmings here, do we?
No. Somebody's hiding behind here. This is...
Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Lauren.
Were you in this fiasco?
Let me back up a
No,
little.
I didn't play, but I helped.
Yes.
Okay.
This was
Denver
DevCon. And I was the designated keep us out of trouble person.
Yes. Well, we did this little prank. I've been known for pranks.
Well,
No.
the thing was, would you complain if I was part of the
facilities, that little asphalt top hat that said, I believe this is yours?
Yes, it is. So, wait a minute. I hadn't heard that story.
Were you there or were you?
No. I painted his space blue.
That was Mecca.
That was Mecca.
That was Mecca. But Bob Gregg, somebody sent him a large chunk of one of the speed bumps with a little post-it on it that said, I believe this is yours.
The speed bump stories.
If I thought of it, I would have. I didn't do it.
We always thought it was you.
I got blamed for so much stuff.
And most of it you did.
He had nothing to do with the firecrackers with all the mobile furniture and engineering when they were about to redo it all.
I didn't have anything to do with that either. No, seriously.
Okay, familiar? Okay, back to Okay, back to Denver DevCon.
Denver DevCon. So John Tobis has this great idea that we're all going to show up as lemmings. So
Yes, it was the hot game.
It is also important to understand that the person who was quote unquote in charge of Denver DevCon was an idiot by the name of Jeff Sherr, who was in charge of
I thought it was an idiot by the name of Paul Higginbottom.
No, it was Jeff Sherr. Paul Higginbottom worked for Jeff Sherr.
Paul just told you he was in charge.
That's what he told me.
So did Sherr. EJ was in charge, but she was smart. She didn't let them know.
It's all a detail.
And let's just say that
Sherr made computer nerds look progressive and advanced.
And he
was the world's most
culturally sophisticated.
And one had to project a business image at all times, which you could tell by Jeff because he wore a gray suit. It was very light.
And a white shirt. And he didn't even work for IBM.
And needless to say, the idea of little lemmings just running around DevCon, Jeff was not. It just wasn't conducive to the business-like atmosphere and professionalism that he wanted to project to all our long-haired, hippie-free
So these clowns decide they're going to dress up like lemmings, and they figure, how can we keep out of trouble? And their answer was, we'll get Gail.
It's sort of like, Mikey will eat it.
And Gail said, why not?
So we invite her up to the hotel room. We don't tell her what we're going to do. But she opens the door and she sees this factory. We've gone down.
And it was.
Literally.
We'd gone down to Kmart and we purchased all of these blue sheets. We were stapling them together. We got yarn. We were making green hair. And we bought.
Hey, we're watching a video called The Deathbed Vigil and Other Tales of Digital Angst. It's filmed by David Haney. It's like the end of Commodore.
And the idea was
and it's like all the employees, they're
and the confetti goes.
I think they're a little drunk right now, but so far it's pretty interesting.
He's putting the confetti down this straw and trying to get it into the balloon. He laughs and
coconut again with the subs. Right on.
We all get all organized, and of course we need need a designated game player. And Lauren got the title of game player.
And I got the wand.
And the magic wand. So the place where we're having the DevCon is on a lower level in the Holiday Inn in Golden Gateway in San Francisco, and there's an escalator from the main lobby down. So here comes this.
But before we actually go to do the performance, we have to practice. So I'm saying
Bruce Lee everywhere.
Screwed up my room. So I take this troupe of players to the concierge level of the hotel, which has a staircase also, which we could use with our little tape player, and we do our performance for the concierge police.
We're highly amused.
And various and assorted guests who are sitting in the bar deciding that the scotch is stronger than you. Anyway, performance time comes. We all put on our blue sheets and tie them around the waist, and we put on our green
I think I am on his Discord. I just keep forgetting to fire it up. I haven't used Discord a whole lot.
We were just letting out show and tell.
Yes.
Yep.
So everybody was there.
Everyone was there.
Everybody
Made sure everyone stayed around.
So Lauren goes downstairs and starts the music, gets out her magic wand, and here we all come down the escalator. And we had practiced marching like lemmings.
Yeah, I'm going to try and remember that next time for right. I'm going to try and make sure I put this on there.
I insisted that I was going to have a star role. He had the big part, but I was going to have the major supporting role. I was going to be the living with the umbrella. And I had an umbrella.
She climbs up onto a credenza.
And we all march across this credenza. And I get to the end, and it didn't look that high when you're standing on the floor. And I'm up there, and it's like,
The only bot I use is for Twitter. Like I announce my stream on Twitter before I start. But that's just a script that runs off my stream deck. I just press a button that sends it to Twitter. But I should probably set one up for Discord. That's good thinking.
The only hope is I've had enough alcohol, I'll just jump off and roll. So I jumped off and ended up on my butt and rolled backwards. That was okay. And then we blew up.
Lauren came by, hit the magic wand.
Yes.
And the balloon was held overhead.
Oh no!
Leo was
Confetti everywhere, all over the hotel.
Leo Schwab was the last to die.
Yes, all over the hotel. And then we went and apologized to the staff, and they said, it's worth it. We'll clean up every bit. It's worth it all. Don't help us. This was great.
So then we tried to, there's a couple of footnotes to the story. We tried to take the show on the road. We tried to go to the GVP private party.
They were going to send
GVP would let the lemmings in.
Gail decided to protest. She stood in front of this silly bouncer person, took her invitation out, which she did have an invitation to the private party, ripped it up into little confetti, and threw it at him.
Oh
no! And then, just because he'd been a relatively good sport about it, he didn't totally ban us from the meeting level. We tried to give Sherb the wand that we had used, just kind of as a memento, and he said, "Gee, thanks," and he threw it in the garbage.
And that's the end of the story. Bite had this very, very handsome president.
By the way,
gorgeous man.
Please read the mug.
Watching the bucket now.
Gorgeous man.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Absolutely
His
gorgeous
name is
man.
Scott Peterson.
He is probably the most difficult person to deal with.
He also is your basic Adonis.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool mug, wasn't it, Coconut?
Really.
This
nice
is not my
one.
story.
Really nice.
He showed up.
I hope they show that poster that everybody signed. That would be incredible.
Las Vegas, we did a software show for the dealers. He set up wearing a very, 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 very short pair. You weren't there, I'm sorry. Short pair of shorts.
Management loses again.
and nothing from there down, and just nice tight t-shirt. And I had a real tough time concentrating on my job that day. Yeah. So
we had this discussion about how difficult he was to deal with, because he was always bad-mouthing Commodore and bad-mouthing Amiga and all these things that we now can admit that were true that he said. Anyway, somebody said to me,
and talk to him for hours on end.
Someone said to me, Scott is good for absolutely nothing. And I said, that's not true. And I had to remember, I had this office with this big long couch, and I said, That's not true. Scott has value. And Lauren said to me, what? And I said, we could shoot him and stuff him and sit him on the end of the couch. He'd make great scenery.
Interesting.
So we're gonna tell the speed bump story. So Commodore installed these speed bumps.
Wacky 20. I don't know. I've had this video for a while, and I've been wanting to watch it my very well. I might as well watch it with other people. It's really pretty interesting.
20 feet.
Well, yeah, I've got a couple things ready to go. Ultima 4, I'm ready to get going on that. I'm at the abyss now, and I'm ready to finish that game, so I'm going to be doing that pretty soon. I've got a couple other things lined up too here.
And then
That's what I kept saying. Why worry? You know, the first 3 snowstorms aren't going to be any speed.
They put it back.
So, yeah, but then they dug holes and they poured macadam into them and made speed bumps.
I finally got a new joystick.
Gail and Henry Rubin, who was the chief operating officer at the time, and Jeff Porter were in his office.
Love it. This thing is, you could beat somebody to death with this thing.
Story, right? And Gail says
It's
something
so well
like,
made.
"Well, don't worry about the speed bumps. First time
Expensive,
this
but
comes
worth
by, it'll all be out." And Henry says,
That was,
well, and then some idiot will probably spend
Benji, oh god, I hope I
putting him back
pronounced
in.
his name right. Benji Edwards. He custom makes them.
It happened. So they had taken these
Love
speed
them.
bumps out and put them back
Really,
in.
really high quality.
Did it again.
And it's got a long cord on it
Take
too.
them out
Geez,
and
that
put them
cord's
back
got to
in
be
several times. So I wrote
8
this
feet
little
or
memo.
something.
And
Commodore letterhead.
letterhead to all employees from the facilities department. Subject: speed bump rotation planned for early July. Starting on Monday, July 3rd, the facilities department will begin daily reconfiguration and expansion of the important speed bump network at the Westchester facility. Work will be arranged to maximize the disruption and discomfort to all employees. Each day, the executive committee will meet to determine pleasing geometric shapes for the day's speed bumps. The current record for changing the bump network is 2 hours. This time should drop into 230 minutes before the planned national championships. Points are gained at the nationals for lowering employee morale, delay to critical engineering projects, and destruction to suspension components. The Commodore team is expecting stiff competition from a group of former Pennsylvania Department of Transportation pothole diggers. Committee Chairman Robert Gregg says that employees have been, quote, laughing at our efforts to strictly enforce the new totalitarian parking lot regulations. And, quote, it is impossible to overemphasize the importance of parking enforcement. That second one was a real quote. Mr. Gregg is on the record with a statement, quote, if I had my way, there would be 10 more speed bumps in the parking lot. Employees attempting to evade the bumps by parking out front will have their tires slashed.
Oh, jeez.
A newly designed stealth paint will be used to conceal the location of bumps to prevent naughty employees from slowing down. In August, existing white lines in the front lot will be further widened to reduce available parking space. And starting in September, the death penalty will be used to a deter violation of the 15-mile-an-hour speed limit.
All right, Bryce. Now, do you want to talk about bypassing the speed bumps prior to the point where the tank traps were installed?
No, for that we need Keith.
And how many people had to be pulled out of the mud when they tried to bypass the speed bumps and got stuck in the swamps adjoining Lake Mecca, which wasn't there yet, but the idea is pretty cool anyway.
We need the Munich guys for that because they were the ones who
Augie.
Didn't you have Augie's one, Bryce,
No,
Randall,
I never got stuck.
Keith.
Although I had another. Did I pull out you or
I
Keith?
went around them.
I pulled out Keith, and the tow truck pulled out you. Right?
no, it's the other way around.
Oh, okay.
I went around them, but I never got stuck either.
But I have another. No, but the point is, why were the speed bumps installed in the first place?
Speed bump. What are you
Your
talking
name
about? Speed
came
bump?
up when I talked to facilities about this. Why these speed bumps? Well, there's certain engineers.
Bryce was always very popular with facilities and security.
They love Bryce. In fact, security loved Bryce's CDs
But
so
the-
much that they took a few home with them.
The best story about facilities is when we were moving in Katz, and I had hired this sweet little secretary from the South named Patsy. And I was out of town, and the guys were moving stuff up from I think from a developer's conference or something, putting it into the storage area in Cats, and the facilities guys just came and were shoving it in the room. And Patsy said, "This isn't good enough." And I don't know what to do about it. Sweet southern timid woman that she was, and then she thought, what would Gail do if she were here? She threw them out of the department. She said, if you're not going to do it right, we'll find somebody who will. Get out of here. And they left.
Yes.
So you have a story about speed bumps?
I have another footnote to the story about speed bumps. Some person, when the A500 was having reliability problems due to sockets for Agnes, spread the rumor on the net that it was due to the fact that the trucks were bouncing over the speed bumps, loosening the chips. And in fact, in Amiga World, one month, out appears in this column that's on like the second page, these little, news notes, right? And one of them said, the new speed bumps at Commodore are responsible for these chips getting loose, and they're far too high for Commodore engineers in their low-slung sports cars to drive over. Thank you.
And I remember Bryce and I one night when the snow was falling and it was one of the earlier incarnations of the speed bumps. We said, "Ooh, we know how to get rid of the speed bumps," and when it removed all the snow from right in front of the speed bumps, so the snow plows would take them out. And lo and behold, the snow plows did.
But I still don't know who sent that hunk of asphalt to Bob Gregg with a note that said,
I believe this is yours.
I believe this is yours.
Did you tell the story about painting Mecha's parking space?
We've already told that one.
Huh?
Could it have been Bowen?
Now that you
could have been Bowen.
Now that I mentioned that story.
He would never have done that.
Was it an intercompany mail?
Yes.
Hey, Snow Dog, how you doing?
He doesn't remember he was stoned.
He was stoned.
During this speed bump set of episodes, Bob Gregg was standing outside talking with the person from the paving company, discussing ways to reconfigure the speed bumps. And I pull up, I
super
believe,
zoom.
with Bryce and Randall in my car, of course, accelerating to 60 miles an hour in front of each speed bump. And he's standing there watching.
Digitize these sound effects I like.
And he's standing there watching it, like, just very, very, kind of not very happy about this, because we're sort of making a mockery of his beloved speed bump.
Yeah, so far it's a pretty cool video. I wanted to see this for quite a while.
Get out of the car, and we were loading a couple boxes in or
pretty
something,
heartbreaking
and he's
stuff in it, though.
standing there glaring at us, and we get back in the car, and I peel out. and zoom right past him. And the engineer, or the paving person, and
the paving person
was not amused.
And I believe the next day they put in the speed bumps 4 inches higher.
Thank you.
Yes, and Gail's back entrance was painted such a beautiful shade of blue that walking up that stairwell was like having a near-death experience.
It woke you up in the morning.
Gail,
We were a multimedia department. We had to be vibrant.
I don't know. Did Mel set up your
It
area?
shocked the hell out of Bob Gregg and Joe Mecca. Joe Mecca thought I'd gone nuts. And that was worth it all by itself. I picked the colors.
I thought Mel had a bad day. I mean, it was...
I picked the colors.
You're trying to
but
say
it
it was
was
worse than
worth it.
Pepto-Bismol pink, which is what the rest of the stairwells were pink.
But no, it was worth it. It was worth it because it shocked the hell out of Mecca. I mean, Mecca never recovered. It was not military green. He did not know how to cope.
Tell your stories about Mecca, the things Mecca kept on his desk.
Well, Mecca
the
kept like
357 Magnum. You got well acquainted
And the
with that.
grenade.
Yeah.
And the grenade.
A grenade. This guy was his major military nut. But just because of this, we like
thought he was a Marine.
We caused the engineering department and the facilities department obviously didn't get along. We caused more regulations. This aforementioned
Recap.
speed bump memo
Cool.
caused the new regulation
Like,
that
did
you
you
couldn't
buy,
post anything on a
brand new
bulletin
keys,
board
or did you
inside
just
Commodore
take
without
them
first
off and
getting
clean them up?
approval from personnel. It said, the memo, however, said you can't post anything on an official notice board. Oh, yeah. So we immediately put up an unofficial notice board. And
As a matter of fact,
unofficial
I
postings
created
only.
an official unofficial notice board in CATS.
Yes, yes.
And in
Because I was
engineering,
not going to have everything that was posted in my department go through personnel. It was that simple.
over in engineering, I put up a sign. I just printed out on a little yellow sheet of paper with a laser printer, unofficial notice board, and taped it to the wall. About 2 weeks later, they came through and painted. And they carefully painted around my little sign,
And
thus making it permanent.
And to this very
Dr. Henry Rubin was vice president of engineering until 91, and the upper management replaced him with Bill Sids, whatever. He certainly has quirks, from bow ties to missing shirt buttons. Didn't always feel through that. He was very positive high school Commodore official to regulate and really.
Well, this story is about the famous Henry Rubin pep talk.
Focus!
Back in the dark days of 2.0, back when it was still called 1.4, software engineers were working nearly around the clock in order to get the job done. But the number of hours worked increases with every retelling of the story.
But we did sleep at work.
People were sleeping at work, there were cots at work.
Tables, if I remember correctly.
Management was supplying free frozen dinners, free pet pretzels, free drinks, everything that they could to get us to stay over. And things were going marvelously well, but Henry decided that we need a little motivation. So he says, I guess, to Andy, we need to have a meeting of all the software people. Let's get them all together and rally the troops around the flag.
And I said to him, Henry, I don't think this is a good idea. And he said, Andy, I'm glad you agreed. Now let's do it. Okay, Henry.
Rule of thirds! More cheers from Rule of Thirds!
So Henry was explaining to us
Thank you
why
very
it was
much.
important to win one for the giver and to go for the gold. And the light is at the end of the tunnel, and there were more cliches thrown at me.
Oh, no.
It's darkest before
And
the
then
dawn.
it is always darkest
And-
before the dawn,
What about the
and
and?
we need an effort like we've never seen before.
Again.
Which, for the whole 2.04 project, basically became the saying. We need an effort.
We've forgotten the fish.
Yeah,
the
for right. Go
fish
find it and
stinks
hook
from
up
the
and
head
start
first,
playing, man.
Which may or may not be appropriate to these situations.
The pinnacle of the meeting was after he had managed to stun us all into complete and utter silence. We were so appalled at what we were hearing. He was surprised to see that there was no reaction. We were all jaws hanging open. We didn't know what to say. He
Trying
said,
not to laugh.
I take your silence as a vote of commitment. We came out of that meeting so utterly depressed and demoralized. It wasn't even funny. But it's funny now.
Let's just say that I think everyone in the Amiga community found out what Henry was really like when at the Washington DevCon, when someone who is near and dear to my heart was introducing Dr. Rubin for his opening remarks.
Scared the hell out of you guys, didn't I?
Happened to mention the phrase "being Henried."
Being
Porter
Henried.
came very DevCon, and Dr. Rubin was at that time head of all the technical parts of Commodore. He was the chief operating officer, so he was
Back in the good old days.
Back in the good old days. He was essentially going up in DevCon, and Gail introduced him. And in her opening remarks to introduce Dr. Rubin, she happened to mention the phrase "being Henried," which we all took to know was, you're screwed. You're basically screwed. Whatever it was you wanted to do, you thought was right, you're basically screwed. You've just been Henried. She used this phrase that Henry had never heard before to introduce him. Porter let out a visible gasp.
All the engineers in the front row tried to crawl underneath their chairs.
We all turned blue.
And I'm
Several various
laughing.
shades of blue, and she got out of it. She didn't
I
realize
was back
Exactly what I was doing.
I was standing with Henry, and he was saying, what does she mean by that?
Uh-huh.
What does she mean by that?
I know exactly what I was doing.
Gail essentially explained it before Henry got up to speak as, essentially you're walking down the hallway and you have your entire agenda for the day plotted out, and you meet up with Dr. Rubin, and he has something else in mind, and all of a sudden you've done a 180 and you're going in the opposite absolute opposite direction, but you're still being incredibly productive.
Gail told it better than that. She said that you were going off, wandering around, doing stuff, and then Henry put you right on the right path, and you go zooming off at full speed.
I remember that.
And it was.
I didn't know what you meant by it at the time.
I got away with it, didn't I?
That was before I met Henry.
At that point, when she finished the explanation, all those engineers in the front row that we were just talking about were gagging. Those of us in the back of the room who could escape were out of there because we were laughing so damn hard that we were going to embarrass somebody, including ourselves.
You mean Mr. Porter was upset about this?
No, he didn't know.
He just didn't know.
He didn't know what I was going to say. Neither did anybody else.
And
we
he
were
knew
really
what
scared
being
to death.
Henry really
And
meant.
I'm standing up there laughing, watching all these faces panic. You know? What is she doing?
Mr. Porter, the man.
Thousands.
One more time. One more time.
Moment in Frankfurt at the German Developers Conference. Thousands of Germans are sitting there, and Jeff Porter says, "And then I did this, and I got my pee-pee wet."
Finkel was Einhorn.
Room going,
Einhorn was Finkel.
Ich kann das nicht verstehen.
My baby crawl underneath her chair.
Forget about that.
I never forget.
Which is why he was father hardware and I was mother software.
Geeks! No. As Jeff Frank said, pounding on the door. Those fucking Unix geeks!
Did you tell the story of the resignation letter?
Okay, there's of course the resignation letter, which was faxed to Mehdi Ali, and the story goes originally when Ned came on. Like several months after he came on, he had to lay off some of the Unix employees, including Richard Buck and David Ballman and some others. We had some knowledge something was going to happen fairly serious. For days we kept asking him, "What's up? How's it going? Ned, tell us what's up." "I don't know what's happening," he'd always say. What was it? Friday came around, and we're asking what's happening. We wanted to all go to SIGGRAPH, I believe, and he was saying, "No, you have to be here this day." Why? If we're going to get fired, we want to go to SIGGRAPH. If we're not going to get fired, we want to go to SIGGRAPH. So he said, "No, you better be here." We were all here. He went, had lunch we're all pacing. He had lunch, came in, had lunch, came back immediately after lunch, told the people that were laid off that they were laid off and they had 5 minutes to clean up and walk out the door. Fairly rude. Quickly. The people that were left were Skrenta, Ditto, and myself. We stayed on, finished the Unix tape, I guess 3-4 months later, and then resigned with 2 minutes notice, faxing my resignation letter to Mehdi Ali, who immediately got it because, what's his name, who was in charge of engineering at that point? Don't know. Sydney's got a call, basically 5 minutes after that.
Who the fuck is this geek Mielski?
Yeah. How to get my number? So we had interesting incidents with security. Of course, sort of struggling with angst at that time against security and the speed bumps and parking tickets.
I was just thinking that too, Coconut. I wonder what they look like now.
Put them into a roll, much like a thing of toilet paper, and stuck it on the wall and asked Mecca to buy more absorbent pieces of paper.
John, thank you for the follow. Welcome to C64 television. Oh, here, talking about the Unix here, Virginia Polytech. Oh, yeah. Sun Microsystems, Jesus.
Green pieces of
You know, it
paper,
sounds
you
like
had to have one of these.
Oh, Amiga
if you
just missed out, you know.
If you came into the building or left the building with any sort of equipment, they were force-fed you by whoever the receptionist was, Dottie. Although she had no clue on what you were taking, whether it was a pencil or a large machine, she couldn't tell the difference. Notable.
See, I can't tell if this guy
passes.
is 20 or 40.
CBM backs.
Hit it. You're going again.
No. I had a property pass for one 747 airplane.
Yep.
I had a property pass for a Cray MP, just in case Commodore ever got one, I could leave with it.
Cray.
When I heard about Bryce getting a property pass for a 747, I couldn't believe it, so I tried it. So I got a property pass for 3 747s.
Oh, no.
I still have a blank property pass.
I have a property pass for one of the Commodore forklifts.
During my last move, Commodore was nice enough to give me empty boxes. I unfortunately had to get a property pass for the empty boxes.
I'm another victim of the empty box property pass scam.
We have 3 victims of the empty box property pass.
I have a property pass for 1 dozen donuts.
And what did you really want a property pass for, Mr. Nesbitt?
I don't actually remember.
You wanted to have individual property passes for each donut and 1 for the box.
I was with Jeff Bruette when they made him get a property pass for some goldfish in a plastic bag.
Hearsay.
And he asked them if that was to keep them from being confused with the Commodore goldfish.
I had to get a property pass for 2 pieces of wood.
I used to carry my CD player in and out, a portable CD player. Each time I came in, I had to have a property pass filled out for it coming in. No one ever checked for it coming out. I have 50.
They forced me to get a property pass for these donuts. I really wanted to just bring them in, and they didn't believe my excuse. I claimed we were going to smuggle them out through the sewage system.
I didn't get a property pass. My hard drive is still in the building.
So I brought the stereo in and got a property pass and took it out, and they didn't retrieve the property pass. So I brought it in again, and they insisted on a property pass. I tried to claim that it was a gift to Commodore. I was going to leave it here. I never wanted it back, but this wasn't good enough. I had to have a property pass. So I filled out one for, quote, 1 electronic item.
Bryce understands part of it. And if something's broken, you can go to him and he'll kind of straighten it out. But he chickened out a long time ago, and we've had to deal with it ourselves lately. This is getting really stupid.
I forget the quantity, but I had a property pass for some speed bumps.
Over here, okay. I had this property pass, and I brought it in, and I had to get a property pass for the property pass.
Well, you heard about the
property pass for the property pass.
Form.
Well, you heard about the property pass for 1 electronic item, which of course is like shopping spree. This property pass was used to take out the prototype of the Amiga 3000 for its first public showing at nowhere else than Margaritas.
The problem with property passes was that it wasn't coming out that was the problem. You could walk out carrying something like this across the guard booth and they'd be like, good evening, yeah, bye. Coming in, I used to hide things, so Dottie wouldn't see him. Dottie was the receptionist, so that she wouldn't see him. And I would be walking across the hallway while she was talking on the phone, answering a call, and she'd say, stop. She'd see the little ball chair from...
I once came in carrying a bag full of wires. And Dottie saw the bag and insisted I get a property pass for them.
I want my speed bumps back.
They're in a receivership key.
I don't know what it is about Commodore and
Today,
speed
I went
bumps.
to Commodore and signed a property pass to get these mugs out.
George is asking about. Well,
It was one where you ended up in a gas station.
back in the A2000 days, things were kind of wild and woolly, and there was this time when, for some
See, I
reason,
can't tell if this
for
is
some
Dave
reason
Haney
after,
or if this is that other guy that kind of looks like
excuse
Dave
me,
Haney.
I preceded myself a bit. After working for, I don't know, 30 hours straight, something like that, without any sleep or anything like that, Greg Berlin decides, let's drink the rest of the day. Of course, he hadn't been doing that, so for lunch we went out, we were drinking some elephants and things, and then we came back and then we wanted to go out for some margaritas and stuff, and so I'm pretty much flying blind. And I thought, well, I could try to drive to Jersey, but no, we'll go back to Commodore.
Mind you, this is only about a mile, 3 miles.
Yeah, maybe 3 miles. Well, the first half mile went okay, and then after that, well, I mean, really, how much damage could a Fiero do to another car? But
Oh, that Pontiac
eventually
Fiero.
that night. The evil Jeff Frank drove me home. Yes, they didn't know that, did they? But I reformed from that. I don't do that anymore.
Shit, when I wrecked my truck on the way to Commodore.
George?
No, you can sit there.
One night, not long after, going on a trip to Germany, or before a trip to Germany, it was Commodore, I don't know which it was. I was driving down beautiful 926 in my fine red Chevy pickup truck in the rain, too fast. I parked the truck against a telephone pole. After the cops were done with me, and I'd taken care of a little
Your
detail,
computer shut down.
headlight.
Okay, we'll see you in a bit, Coconut.
Yeah, could you give me a ride in the Commodore? He said, yeah, okay. So he gave me a ride in the Commodore. Not long after, I became known as the resident Commodore person. After I wrecked the red truck, I had the green van. Okay, which said daily local news or some bullshit on the side of it.
I do remember this music.
Yes.
And I drove this thing for to a year and didn't have any trouble. But then unfortunately I forget which, whatever the cops that do the mall, they caught me going down Ship Road in this fine green van, no license, no registration, no insurance, tags that were off of another vehicle, a pretty red pickup truck. And needless to say, they became slightly upset about this, took me to court, and snatched my license for a couple months. This was the green van. Eventually, we parked the green van behind the FCC shed. Okay, the green van sat behind the FCC shed for maybe a year, gradually and gently deteriorating. Now, my personal belief is that the FCC guys took out their latent hostilities against engineering on the van with hammers and crowbars, and picks and mauls. But about a year later, there wasn't much left of the green van. I had to get a friend of mine to tow it away. He didn't think it was worth very much, and the valuable items that I'd left in it for a year were not worth very much.
This is a story about a man named Ray.
A man who refused to work.
A man who, when faced with the concept of upgrading his Amiga past 1986, just plain and flat refused.
Yes, the man who would not run 2.0.
Now, this
even though he wrote part of it.
This would have been fine
Especially
for
because he
anyone
wrote
else.
part of it.
Yeah, this would have been fine anyone else, but Ray was a member of the OS team.
Yes, a developer of the software who refuses to run it because, quote, I don't trust it.
Because, you see, when he rewrote his little part of it, it didn't work, and we had to fix it.
So we decided to give this guy a little calling card indicating that maybe we don't really want you working around here anymore.
More specifically, people that don't upgrade themselves will be taken care of. But the bottom line is...
But realize, he'd been worried about this for many, many, many months.
And once, when someone went in and got a directory of a disk.
Thanks, Hitch.
Yeah, that was me.
Appreciate it.
I needed to use his machine, and I didn't think anything of it, so I got the key to his office, unlocked his 57 locks, just carefully moved aside the tripwire, and I turned on his machine.
Tripwire.
Now, mind you, Andy was this person's boss.
Right.
So Ray comes in, later that day and says, "My God, someone's been running my machines." I said, "Yeah, it was me." "What'd you do?"
All right.
I don't know. I forget. And
he also went around to everyone's office and accused them of having tampered with his machines, and that if
New
they
sub.
didn't own up to what they
Outstanding.
had done to his machine,
Snow Dog is gifted
he
a
would
sub
have
to
to
Hitch.
restore his hard disk from
Thanks,
tape
Snow Dog.
and lose a full week of work.
The bottom line was, this guy was incredibly paranoid, and I guess the only sad footnote to this was, we proved him right.
After we had all been blamed for tampering with his machine, when we hadn't done it, we decided to tamper with his machine.
First problem is, what do? So Bryce has the idea, let's make a 2.0 ROM that to all external appearances looks like 1.3. This requires an incredible amount of re-engineering the old look of 1.3 back into the new technology of 2.0. So Bryce, with my help, works out the data file formats for all this stuff and creates a one-of ROM.
Oh, you have? Oh, Hitch, I
Pretty
thought you would
darn
have
close to
watched
1.3
this
system,
before.
even though
The
it's
beginning,
2.0.
they went through
So we obtained the key to
Commodore's
his office.
Westchester,
We
Pennsylvania
disabled the tripwires. We're very careful. We know that
office,
he has this
and
time
it was
log
just
on his
incredible
machine,
to see all that stuff.
Exactly when it's
It was
rebooted.
Amiga heaven,
Very,
Hitch.
very
If you would have
careful.
seen
We
it,
upgraded his machine to
it was
2.0.
amazing.
And we also left little calling cards inside the machine. Little cards attached to chips inside the machine that said things like, "Welcome to the 90s."
We upgraded him. The Amiga is very easily upgradable. All you have to do is pop out a chip, insert a new one, and for permanency solder it into place.
And also, just to be sure he couldn't put the old one back in, put a drill press through the
You're
center.
old, are ya?
And present it to him as a keychain.
But Randall is getting ahead of the story.
Ahead of the story, yes.
Yes, so we do this, and we think it's perfect. So everybody in all of engineering knows about this story, except of course.
I had no official knowledge of this. I didn't want to hear about it.
This is well before Reagan even.
The important thing was, the most important question was, how long would it take Ray to find this out?
Now, remember, Ray was what you would call an anal retentive person. Everything had to be in its proper place, and everything had to be just right. And we've been very, very careful.
Bending the mouse cable just so.
Yes.
So we had a pool going, which is how long it would take Ray to discover, and so people would buy 15-minute slots from the time he came in to whenever, and so these sold out rapidly. This is a popular item. One senior manager was approached and asked to contribute $1 to the pool, and his answer was, I don't disapprove of what you're doing,
No, I
but
think
I'd
you're
be going
younger
too
than
far
me,
if I was to
bitch.
actually give you $1.
We'll leave it at that.
I got a phone call. I was Ray's roommate at the time. Another story all on himself.
But Randall feels better now.
Much better. But I got this phone call at
You were
10
born in
a.m. or whatever it
68?
was, and I, of course, had not gone to work yet.
That's the case, and
And
now you are.
Ray was
older than
saying,
me.
"Someone's been in my office. Do you know who it was?" And well, since I didn't know everyone that had been in his office, I said, "No, Ray. Why?"
The art of deflection.
Yeah. Yeah, Hitch, you're still
There's a lot more to it.
you're the Commodore community's resident grandpa. I say that affectionately.
Randall and Dave are sitting by the microwave oven at a particular point during the day.
We were?
You were.
Well, apparently it wasn't Randall.
Well, I do know that when we came in, I asked Ray.
Excuse me. Dave Haney and Mike Sins.
That makes much more sense. I was wondering what I was doing there.
You're right. That was before noon. Randall couldn't possibly have been here.
I usually get in at 10. Mike got in at about
6, whatever.
Now,
So
when
Dave-
Ray wanted to
Dave,
get something
come
from
here.
like
wildly early. Okay. Hi, Bryce. Give me a back rub.
when Ray wanted to get something like a Coke from the cooler, he would open his door, close it behind him, and lock it. Walk maybe 3 steps to where the Coke cooler was. He only had the office nearest the Coke machine. Get a Coke, go back to his office, unlock the door from the outside, walk in, close the door, slam.
This is, of course, after he realized that his machine, that we'd done something to his machine.
No, that was before. All he knew was that someone had been in his office.
Right.
So, what do you do when there's a problem? You call security. So security sends up a guard, and Ray says, "I would like to make a report." And the guy says, "Okay, what would you like to report?" "Somebody's been in my office." "And is anything missing?" Not that I know of." "Is anything damaged?" Not that I know of." So I can't very well write anything.
And he was incensed at the security guards for not taking the report.
They didn't take it seriously. And then so he basically asked everybody in the office who'd been in his office, and since everyone denied it, Ray got very upset, slammed his door one final time, locked it, and walked out.
Right.
The biggest problem that causes.
Yeah, pretty soon Hitch is going to tell us all to get off his lawn.
All of a sudden, the beds were open again for the second day.
And also,
Damn kids, get off my lawn, you young whippersnappers.
They'd walk down the hall. They'd look at each other. They'd both burst out laughing without having said a word.
So Ray comes in the next day and he does some more poking around and he finds out that our perpetrators had made one small mistake with a mild date on a certain startup sequence needed to make the monitor work correctly.
But he still couldn't figure out what we had done. He knew we'd touched that file, but he couldn't figure out what we'd done to it.
Really, imagine this. Of all of the possible things that someone could do, would they create a clone version of 2.0 that looks just like 1.3 and install it in your machine? Nah.
So, Ray, being paranoid, discovers something's wrong with his hard drive, so he restores everything from tape and reboots the system. And lo and behold,
Did he say he restores everything from tape?
So now he knows, and now the plot begins to unravel quickly, which is what we had hoped would have happened a day earlier anyway. So.
And the secretary, Joanne, was the official timekeeper of the pool. Because she could see Ray's office from her desk.
One didn't need to see, of course, to get the time. You just
That's
had to
true.
listen to the screen.
And the massive slam of the door.
This is where Mr. Haney comes in. Mr. Haney and Mr. Sins were sitting next to the microwave oven. And...
Breathe, Lamaze style.
Okay, I'm calm.
No, it's your part.
Okay, that is Dave Haney, the guy wearing the REM shirt.
You gotta tell it.
Okay, so they're sitting by the microwave oven, and Ray comes out of his office, and he slams the door, and the entire building shakes, and they kind of calmly look up at the clock and say, "Aw, damn, I had 11:45.
And the winner of the Ray Brand pool turned out to be none other than Martin Taillefer, who, in a great act of generosity, bought everyone pizza.
End of story.
Well,
there's a bit more to the
one
story.
one minor thing. Ray comes into my office and says, "Do you know what they've done? Do you know what they've done? They've upgraded my machine." I said, "Good."
They were very thorough, though. Bryce and others made sure that there were no 1.3 ROMs available anywhere in the building.
We took the entire stock of 1.3 ROMs in the entire building and hid it.
Ray did it. We did find one on some disused motherboard.
Right, and someone presented Ray with his old ROM, with a hole drilled through it, so he couldn't use it.
The other thing that was that they had to upgrade his 2630 accelerator board with the Rev 6 ROMs to be 2.0 compatible, which are in all aspects superior to the Rev 4 ROMs, except that they're 2.0 compatible. That's the only difference. Ray demanded his old revision ROMs back.
And
tells you how clued in he was.
There's one more final thing to this story.
Epilogue.
The day after he discovered that this all happened.
Yeah, Hitch, I was thinking that too.
To hunt for a job. He didn't go because Commodore sent him, though he tried really hard to get Commodore to send him.
Tried to get engineering to send him.
Yes.
And what did he do when engineering
So
would
you're
send him?
like
He tried to get
Uber
marketing to
nerds.
send him.
He tried to get everyone in Commodore to send him, even the janitors. But no one would send him, so he went on his own anyways to hunt for a job. And, well, while he was in SIGGRAPH, he was laid off.
By Federal Express, when they absolutely, positively have to be gone by 10:30 the next morning.
Given the pace at Commodore, it was not uncommon for people to stay a night or two more. In some cases, at times, management provided free drinks, food, beer, pizza, and other perks to make it easier to keep ridiculous hours. Coffee was free even up to the last days.
The first time I met George was around 1 a.m. as he was roller skating around the hallways at Commodore.
What Porter really hated was the wet footprints from the bathroom.
What was even worse was working late at night in engineering and finding George still in the bathroom.
Here we go. Well, I was walking down engineering row one day, and I had a spec in my hand for one of the new chips, man. And Sherry, she was a VP of some. What was she was, yeah, she comes up and says, yeah, QA, man, she's QA. I said, you know, can you tell me where I can find George Robinson? I said, yes, Sherry, I can show you. If you come with me, George is right back here, man. And there was a little partition, like, was like, the cubicle was like open a little bit. You could like look in, and there was George in his sleeping bag. And I said, Sherry, I'm sorry to tell you, George is asleep, and you know, he'll be up about 1 o'clock. You can talk to him then. But I don't think you want to wake him up right now. Thank you.
And then we advanced to the regular men's room that was adjacent to the regulars' ladies' room, which probably would have mattered because it's like a lot bigger. Anyway, the regulars' men's room. Regular men's room.
Yeah, he's
okay.
He's pretty
Pretty
lit.
decent, except for we've already spoken about these wet footprints leading from there into like living areas. Okay, and there the object was to determine. You would like get yourself clean and dry and whatnot, and then how many paper towels would it take to soak up all the water on the floor? Okay, and they had these like nice little paper towel dispensers, like. You work in a half hour of this thing to get like a roll of paper towels down to the floor and up again, so you can soak up all the water. So, yeah, it was like really difficult. But it worked for like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years. Just long enough to survive a Commodore, collect a little tiny paycheck, the important part of life, and make these funny products like 600, 1200, CD32. I don't know. And then we eventually grew up, rented an apartment off-site, and got laid!
The first two, go.
So, this particular gullible guy came into my office one day and said, hey Bryce, would you download something from VIX? And I said, sure, as soon as I get around to it. And he made the mistake of saying, what's around to it? So I said, why don't you go ask Keith?
Kevin. Go.
Kevin said, around to it. Well, I had some last week, but I'm all out.
And so Kevin sent him down to QA.
QA said, we're out square, we're out round to it, but we may have a square one.
About this time,
I think your status at Commodore was dictated on how long your ponytail was.
So he asked one more person, and that person finally clued him in as to what around to it really was.
This guy looks like Mr. Leahy. I dubbed the Unforgettable Metallica. A night of the guilty speed bump alley, Pennsylvania. Again with the speed bump. People love their speed bumps. Oh, there it is. What are they doing? Oh, is that Mehdi Ali's parking spot? This is good. I gotta see this. If they're giving Mehdi Ali a handicap parking spot, this could possibly be the greatest thing I've ever seen. they put it. Okay, I see. They put it on the speed bump. They do not like this guy. Getting liquored up and spray painting your ex-boss's name on a speed bump. Yeah, it's pretty thorough. Hey, Gogan, I'd say it's pretty thorough. That's deep, man. Well, that's that, folks. That's that. That was pretty damn entertaining. I gotta tell you that. I've been wanting, just like I said, I've been wanting to watch it for a long time. And it was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I hope there's like I said, I really wish they would have made a video somewhere out there. If there's a video of like this, but like from like 82, 83, 84, 85, like at Commodore, I would love to see that. Like when it was up and running and developing the games and stuff, that'd be so awesome. But anyway, well, you know, as it is, folks, I have some free time on my hands. I've been gone for a while. I've been doing traveling in Europe, and I've been, you know, hanging out with my kids. And unfortunately, my son, he's been bugging me to play Warcraft. So whatever free time I have, I've been World of Warcraft. Anyway, so I've got Ultima 4. I'm ready to go into the Abyss now. Like, we started this in 2015. When did we start streaming my Ultima 4 game? 2014, 2015, something like that. And now we're finally at the Abyss after God knows how many episodes. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. And then I got my new joystick. Thanks, Benji Edwards. Best joystick I've ever owned. So I'm going to be busting that in maybe with some Airborne Ranger or something like that. But anyway, I'll be around, folks. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Thanks for the subs, the bits and everything. And I'll see you guys really soon. Okay, take care, man.
嘟啦，300万啦，嘟嘟嘎嘎布布。